Welcome back to Talkin Shop, ShopSabre. I'm Brandon, back with Jesse. We're on to episode 16, Being Profitable with Cnc Technology.
This would be a good one.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think there's so many ways we can go with this. Like, you know, we could go down a real rabbit hole here. I mean, we could just end up.
How much time do we have today?
How much time you want to spend?
Tell you to stop?
There we go.
All right.
And stop.
Hey, cool note.
What?
I got an email from a customer of ours who listens to our show. Dan.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel moment there.
Dan's.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to tell you this.
Okay.
Dan Slager over at Quimby Pipe Organs said we are the Bob Ross of CNC podcasts.
Nice.
That is awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
To be compared to
Garrett,
Bob
do you know who Bob
Ross?
Ross is? Do you?
Another-
He says yes into his fist.
Another
'cause he forgot
week.
to hook up his
Another
mic.
week of no microphone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Garrett.
You said yes into his fist. Did you see that?
I did.
Yes. You
to
don't
go.
have a mic over there.
But no, I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
Getting good feedback on this.
That's a good thing, right?
Right.
That's a
They're
good
not
thing.
telling us to stop or we're unlistenable.
I think they're saying that too, but
I think they're just not
that's
telling
okay.
us directly.
I don't listen to those people.
We're going to keep doing our thing.
I don't care.
I really don't care.
We're going to force you to listen to us.
Keep listening to my voice. Yeah. Anyways, but we did get. I got somebody last week that said, we could have gone so much further in depth on the software, and they're not wrong. But man, that's a rabbit hole I was not willing to go down.
We could have done a 4-parter on that.
We could have spent all week talking about
I
software because the
agree.
reality is there's so many different softwares and they all work different in how they're designed. But the reality is, where do you stop?
Right.
Like, you can't just be like, let's talk about how Vectric does it. Let's talk about Fusion. Let's talk about, and then you end up down this rabbit hole and then people are like, what? No, where'd the kids go?
There's some advice we could give. Like, if you want to talk software, pick up the phone. Give us a shout. I'll
There
talk
you
software
go.
with you on the phone.
There you go. Jesse's willing to talk software with you.
Yeah, we'll probably need your help, though, to be honest.
Nope, not there. I'm out. I just did the dealer hands, like I was checking out at the blackjack table.
I saw that.
But then I
You're
realized nobody else can see that. That's a real letdown. But yeah, so, what we try to do, in reality, is we've always tried to do, like, an overview of the items. Like, we
Right.
try to give you the big points, the big items, and, obviously there's a lot more we can go in depth on every one of these topics. But let's be honest, we want to have a little bit of fun, too. And so I don't want to put myself to sleep any more than you want to put yourself to sleep. And then Garrett over there is sleeping.
You've gotten close a couple
Yeah.
times to put me to sleep.
Some pretty times, is that what you just said?
Yeah, I was choking
that
on my words there a little
pretty
bit.
times?
Let's see how many times you do it today. You ready?
I'm just saying.
Hey, Garrett,
you
you
ripped
got a
up-
little-
You got a dinger?
You got a little dinger
Ding!
over there for every time he messes up during this thing today?
Ding.
Perfect.
Got one? All right. Well, we're gonna try that because right now it's
You look tired today.
It's
What is
1-0.
going on?
I'm a little tired today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing.
Did you have a
What we
long
got?
weekend?
We had a long weekend. Yeah.
All right.
No, it was good. It was fun. It was a good weekend. But yeah, we did a little racing this weekend. That's what we did.
That's-
so,
yeah,
I'm a
kinda
little tired.
thought so.
A little tired, but nevertheless.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize for Brandon's performance today. He had too much fun this weekend. I'll try to carry you today.
He's messed up once. I've messed up 0 times. I don't know why he's apologizing for me. He should go look in the mirror.
No, you don't want to see his
don't
face
look
in
in
the
mirror.
mirror.
You don't want to look at that. That beard has still got its problems.
Whoa, look at that. She trimmed it up. It looks nice. Look.
She forgot the part about getting rid of it. That part of trimming it up.
No, I think it looks
She
good.
missed a lot, the long spot. Yeah. So, anyways, talk about profitability. Let's get going.
Yeah.
God, you've been spinning my wheels over here. Let's talk about profitability and what does it mean. Profitability is truly a business's financial gain. It's really what you're talking about is what is the financial gain in doing business you conduct, right?
Right.
No matter what you do. If you sell lollipops, it's how much are you making per lollipop that you sell,
Right.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's the name of the game, right? You got to
Yeah.
be profitable.
Correct. And the higher your profitability, the more money you're typically putting in the bank for other things, right?
Right.
Which more money is a good thing, right, Jesse?
Absolutely.
Okay, so money buys money, right?
Right.
If you have money, you can use your money to do other things that make money, right?
I say it all the time. You got to spend money to make money sometimes.
There we go. My wife, she just spends the money on Amazon.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
just
doesn't make me any
doesn't
money.
make it, just
it
spends
doesn't
it?
make any money. She
Okay.
just spends it on Amazon. So
I have a feeling the one that lives in my house does the same kind
it's
of
a
stuff.
fine line between money buys money, and money just goes out the window.
Money buys Amazon goods.
Money buys Amazon, and the UPS guy hates me.
Amazon boxes?
Sorry, Carl. But yeah, if you make more, you can do more things in most cases, right?
Right.
I mean, if you've made more money this week, you can go spend more money on advertising. You can go hire that contractor. You can buy that piece of equipment, whatever, right?
Right.
So that said, more money does equate to more stress, though, right?
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Money comes with its own problems.
Absolutely.
So more money.
Mo problems.
There you go. You got it. That was good. Hey, look at that. It's like we almost knew what we were doing.
It's like
now.
we're a team.
Yeah.
It's like we've done this before.
It's like we've actually been on a podcast before together. Weird. Episode 16. But yeah, so, that being said, the stresses that come along with money can be reduced, though, through ways of making your job easier, right?
Right.
I mean, there's different things
Removing
you can do.
stress.
Removing stress. But let's talk about CNC. How does that correlate to profit? Let's start there. The CNC reduces stress, though. I mean, this is kind of one way that you can do that. If you're making more money, you got more going on, right?
Correct.
I mean, I think that's the first thing we need to talk about there, is that making more money means more work.
You're busier.
Equipment reduces the amount of labor you're doing, right?
Right.
Allows you to be lazier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, now we're talking our
Snack
language.
time. More snack times.
God, I love snacks.
I know,
always
me
gotta go
too.
there.
I know.
Cookies,
I know.
Cake.
Yeah. I'm not going to feed into that today, though.
What are you talking about, fat ass?
We're going to keep going.
Yes, you
Otherwise,
are.
we're going to get really distracted.
It doesn't take that
hungry.
much, guys, here. I'm going to
Really
distract him
hungry.
with cake and cookies.
Stop.
But yeah, so when you start looking at it, how does it correlate to profit? Well, by making more money, you now have more expenses. You have higher costs of materials due to
Right.
the fact that you're using more material, right?
Yep.
You also have more labor because more labor to get, more work done. You have more employees generally because of that labor.
Right.
You have higher insurance costs because of those employees.
Correct.
You have cost of overhead because generally your building has to get bigger as your work expands, as your employees become more. It's a trickle down effect, right?
Yeah. So
Everything-
as you get busier, you're going to need to make some changes.
There we go. But does a CNC machine not cost you more money?
No, it doesn't.
So it doesn't cost me more money, but that machine cost me 60 grand, Jesse,
You're right. But so does an employee for a year.
right? So, as you start looking at it, technically, yes, you paid something for that machine, right?
Right.
You paid something, right? Whether it is 20,000, 60,000, 160,000, I mean, whatever you bought,
Right.
you spent something. But does it really cost you anything? No.
No.
Because you're getting a benefit for the money you spend.
Absolutely.
The benefit you're getting is an employee that you own for life.
Right.
Like, it's something you have that's not going to take a yearly increase, that's not going to take vacations, that doesn't do all this stuff. So
Right.
going back to it, the machine is an employee, right?
Correct.
Now talk about tax benefits. You might take a tax break because you bought a piece of equipment.
Right. Where you're paying taxes on an employee.
Yeah. So you have the differences of, Section 179.
Yep.
Say that again.
Section 179.
So everybody grab your pen again, and Jesse, one more time for people.
Section 179.
There we go. I was just trying to see if he'd mess those numbers up. But yeah,
Nice try.
yeah, he did. He pulled it off. That was good. I should have said something like cheesecake. Say that number again.
Oh, cheesecake.
But yeah, does the machine really cost you money? Yes, but it also benefits you. So really, it's a wash when you're all said and done.
You're moving money. That's the way I look at it. Is
Exactly.
You're moving money.
Correct.
You're going to spend that money regardless. Where are you going to spend it? What makes the most sense?
That's the truth. That's absolutely the truth. You are moving money. Exactly. You're taking it from. I was going to put that into the Harold fund because I was going to hire Harold,
I don't think I'd hire Harold.
or I'm going to put this into the ShopSabre fund, right?
Yep.
And you still might hire Harold. But now Harold runs the ShopSabre, and now Harold's twice as profitable as he would have been being Harold by himself or Harold with a piece of equipment,
Yeah.
right?
Very true.
So there's still ways that you bring the employee in that you want. Harold's much happier because Harold's getting to run a machine instead of having to do everything the hard way.
Right.
So Harold's going to probably want to come to work more.
I would imagine.
And Harold probably isn't going to worry about if a guy offers him 50 cents more an hour because, well, you don't have a CNC machine and I have one. So
He's got it pretty made.
Yep. That's a big difference. So you got that going for you. But then you start looking at, the benefits of time savings, right?
Right.
Harold can get more done in less time, right?
Absolutely.
In an 8-hour shift, what would take Harold all day to do something, he can get done in an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to say. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, I mean, really, we've timed it. And most of our customers have said, like, what it takes their average employee an hour to do, the machine does in, like, 7 minutes.
How do you compete with that?
Yeah, you just don't.
You can't.
You can't. I mean, the reality is your competitors are doing it, so either you're losing or your competitors are making way more money than you.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right.
So when you start looking at it, it reduces your overhead costs because of that labor, right?
Yep.
You've saved that much time. Now, you've also reduced material costs, though. How did I reduce material costs if I'm doing more work?
Well, you're using more of your sheet.
Yeah.
Right? You're nesting things out. You're utilizing your full piece of material.
Would that be called better yield?
Higher yield. Better yield.
There we go. So you have reduced your cost of materials, and then you also have taken into consideration you're going to typically have less mistakes just because of the fact that the machine's automated, right?
You're taking the thinking out.
Yeah, the CAD drawing is there. So
Yeah.
granted, you can make mistakes with CAD drawings, but they're usually you make it once and then you fix it, and that file's forever, right?
Right. Where Harold could make that same mistake every day.
Yeah, because, let's just be honest. Sometimes people are dyslexic. God, you got me.
Got you.
Ding, ding.
Ding,
Dang
ding.
it.
Tied up, boys and girls.
Dang it. So, yeah, when you think about that, there's simple mistakes that people make, like my simple mistake I just
Yeah.
made there. But the reality is that costs you money
It does.
because he cut it wrong, right?
So you have material time, you have material costs, you have the time it took him to mess that piece up.
Yeah, and when you're looking at that guy's still getting paid the same, right?
Yes.
So now he just cut that same cabinet twice.
You're paying him to cut it twice.
But did the customer pay you twice for that cabinet?
Nope.
Nope.
You and Harold are going to have a talk.
You and Harold are talking.
No, you and Harold. I ain't talking to Harold.
You
hired
hired him.
No, you did.
You hired
You
him.
hired Harold. I
Okay.
said I wouldn't hire Harold. Go back and listen. I said
That's
I
true.
wouldn't
You
hire
told
Harold.
me you weren't going to hire Harold.
No, I'm not.
Harold's my friend, not yours.
That's fine.
It's cool.
I don't have very many friends named Harold.
Well, all the Harolds out there, please write Jesse at ShopSabre.com. Let him know that you're not his friend. I'll give you a hat. Anyways, back to
I'm
what I
going
was
to get
saying.
200 emails
I
from
hope
Harold.
you do. I hope you do. It's going to be a lot of hats. I have now changed the contest. It's the first 10 Harolds get hats. I don't have enough hats to give it to all the Harolds of the world. But anyways, so, like you said, you have less mistakes, and then you have safety side of it, right? The machine is less interactive, if you will, right?
Yeah, I
Your
would say
hands
it's-
aren't in there like with the material the whole entire time. You're not going to have to worry about sawing your finger off, right?
Right, as long as you're smart. As long as you're smart and you pay attention, it's a much safer piece of equipment to run.
Fair enough. And then you have versatility.
It's like the most versatile machine ever.
Well, how many tools do you know that can be like a Swiss Army knife?
A Swiss Army knife?
Right?
That's about
That's
it.
the only one I can think
Yeah.
of. I'm glad we came up with that. Actually, there's one other tool.
What's that?
It's a wrench.
A wrench?
Yeah.
I suppose.
It also works as a pry bar,
also works as a hammer.
as a hammer.
Yeah.
The wrench is a very handy tool.
Did you use a wrench this weekend?
I used a hammer and a pry bar. Nevertheless, but when you talk about versatility is profitability as well.
Right.
Because the more you can do, the more you can say yes, correct?
Right.
So therefore, the more you say yes, the more money you can potentially make, correct?
Right, absolutely. It
So
opens the
having
door
a
up.
CNC,
You cut me off.
I
Look
did
at
on
that.
purpose.
We should get a dinger for that one, too.
No, there's no dinger on that
You
one.
should.
'Cause
You
You were
should
just
constantly
no,
ding
I
you.
was so. I
I don't even
bored.
remember what I was gonna say.
I
Keep
was
talking.
bored and I had to stop you. But yeah, I mean, having a CNC is the field of dreams, is it not?
It is.
I mean, we joke about it all the time, right?
We do.
Yeah, I mean, if you build it, they will come, right?
It's absolutely true.
But customers say it. They're like, man, all this work has popped up because people found out I got a CNC machine.
Right.
Well, yeah, they're not coming to you and be like, hey, Jesse, will you cut my cabinets on your CNC machine that doesn't exist?
Right.
That doesn't happen. Nobody's ever walked in your
Go
shop.
use my invisible CNC machines right over your
Come
guys.
check out the new invisible model I got.
I'm going to need you guys to pick that sheet up and put it up
Yeah,
on there.
hey, can you hover that for me?
Oh, you dropped it.
Can you use the force? Oh, your force isn't very strong there.
You guys must have missed it. Landed on the floor.
Dang it. But then you start looking at, like seriously, like I don't go to Cub Foods to buy a car, right?
No.
So why would I come to your shop to do something you can't do?
Right.
Doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Right.
These guys are like, I don't know if the work's out there for it. Well, you're not going to find out if it is because guess what? They're not coming
They're
to
not showing up.
No, sorry, not doing it.
Hey, Harold, you thinking about getting a CNC this week? I got some cabinets for you, maybe, possibly.
Harold doesn't work for you. You don't talk to him. My hair.
Nah, I'm hiring John.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, seriously though, they're not going to come to you for these jobs, right? They're not going to ask you to make the mantle if you have never been known for making mantles,
Right.
Or they're not going to come to you to make a sign when you're a cabinet guy. Generally.
Generally.
There's guys that will. I mean, let's be honest. There's guys out there listening right now like, yes, they will. They did last week. You're
Yeah.
right. Some of you guys are very talented, and they'll do it. But the reality is having these versatile tools allows you to get into other avenues of revenue.
Absolutely.
You know?
And that's critical in the world we live in today. You got to be able to pivot.
Well, remember when that little thing called COVID came along?
Yeah.
And then all those people that weren't doing what they normally do switched gears?
Yep.
We have a whole video series on that.
Yep.
Of people who started cutting plastic dividers and shields and other things, PPE,
Yep.
that were cabinet shops, sign makers, event production. There's an event production company out there. Absolutely rock stars, okay? Chris McCormick, I'm going to throw it out there as his name. He's awesome. Guy is great. And he did big events, like White House events, like giant,
really?
yeah, like giant events. Like that's what he did. He was an event guy.
Wow.
Well, the events kind of got shut down when COVID came along.
Yeah, they did.
He was down for one day without employees.
What did he
He
do?
laid his guys off, and because Chris is the kind of guy that is just gonna figure it out, he started brainstorming over the weekend, trying stuff out, and by Monday he had his whole crew back, and they were back to work. Now he owns another ShopSabre
That's incredible.
because he was able to switch the directions he was traveling with his company, like literally over the weekend.
Just because of the versatility of the machine.
Correct. Well, he said it flat out. Without the machine, how does he do that?
You can't.
You don't.
You gonna hand cut out face shields and dividers?
I mean, you could try, but
No thanks.
probably not going to be real profitable.
Can't imagine that you're moving a lot of those either.
No, and that's the difference. Is like when we talk about that kind of stuff, that's a pretty big deal. You know,
It is.
having that versatility. And we're gonna have a customer on our show here in a week or two. Sean Morley is gonna join us. And
Oh, do I get a break?
No.
I don't want one anyway.
Yeah,
Ha.
Joke's on me.
Ha. You're
Should've
stuck with
said
me.
yes.
Yeah, you shoulda.
Can we rewind?
No, you
Garrett?
can't.
Can we back up?
You are
I'd like-
stuck with me.
I'd like a trial too, please.
Not happening. So anyway, we got someone coming in.
I'm really disappointed right now in my decision in life. Yeah, so Sean's gonna come in, but he's gonna talk about those type of things. He's gonna talk about he's a sign maker. No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's a cabinet
maker
guy.
That became a sign maker. I'm sorry. He is a sign maker, but he's a cabinet maker, and he's also a fabricator, and he's also a furniture maker. He does all these other things, but he started as a cabinet maker.
Right.
That's all he did, and he was very good at it. And he bought a ShopSabre, and then his business got really busy, and he bought another ShopSabre, a faster one.
A bigger one. A faster
The
one.
IS. It's pretty awesome.
It is
But
awesome.
anyways, he bought the IS table, and in buying the IS table, he was able to take on these other jobs. And he talks about a job, and I'm not going to get into too much here because then I'll take it away from him sharing it with you
Yeah,
guys.
don't ruin
But-
his story.
Yeah, but I mean, he did a pretty big job that consisted of doing something for store fixtures. Has nothing to do with his cabinet business, really.
Right.
But because of word of mouth.
That's awesome.
If you build it,
They will come.
there we go. So the reality is it's very versatile. You know, it allows you to switch, directions really fast. But the one thing you have to think about is it's the other side work that they can do, right? Mm-hmm. You see how many cabinet makers out there, they're like frantically trying to get their work done because they can't, there's not enough hours in the day to get their work done.
Right.
And then you see guys with the CNC machine and they're cutting stuff for those other people.
Yeah.
And they're still getting their stuff done.
Yep.
Like they're just as busy as the other person, but they have time left over to pay, an employee to stand there and run the machine that's basically paid for by his competitor.
Right.
His competitor is legitimately paying his employee to run the machine to compete against himself.
That's awesome.
Like, sweet.
Sweet.
Like, come on. That's a free machine payment that month, right?
Yeah, it is.
Your competitor just bought your machine. Sweet.
Absolutely.
And the competitor is getting a good deal still because now they're getting stuff done that they couldn't get done.
Right. You're getting caught up.
I mean, I guess there is a trade-off there. You paid for somebody else's machine. Good job.
Thank you.
So, or you could just buy your own machine. Whatever. What do I know? But yeah, when you start looking at machining, things like MDF doors, right?
Yeah.
You hear guys all the time, like, I can buy my door so cheap. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
You might be able to. I can't speak for you. I don't know where you get your doors from. Maybe Bob does them really cheap for you. But the reality is you're still paying somebody something.
You are.
The CNC machine's sitting there, right?
Right.
You're not running it all day, every day, because most people don't run the machine all day, every day, because they don't have enough work to run it all day, every day. They can get their job done a lot faster. So then that's where they can be versatile.
Efficient.
Yeah. And so the machine itself now can cut MDF doors in-house. And it's a cost of material, essentially, because you already paid for the machine.
Right. And you don't have to leave to go pick up your doors. You don't have to mess
You don't
around.
have to wait on lead time?
Right. Just go to the machine and cut your doors.
Bob, I need 10 doors. Oh, man, I'll get them to you in a week.
Maybe 2.
Or I'll just walk up to my machine and make them right now.
Sounds like that's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I need dovetail drawers. I can buy my dovetail drawers really cheap too.
Or you can make them on the machine.
Or you can just make them yourself again. Yep. When it gets done with the MDF doors, then you'll do that too.
Yeah.
Within the same hour, I can have my dovetails and my MDF doors done.
Bob ain't getting that done in the same hour.
Nope.
Lucky if we see it in 2 weeks.
Bob doesn't have time for it.
No, he doesn't.
Nobody got time for that.
No one's got time for that.
Nobody got time for that. And then you start looking at, the ability to do variety of different materials, right?
Right.
Aluminum.
Talk about a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, aluminum is a perfect example, right?
Plastic.
Yeah, wood. So you got 3 different materials there. You're generally not using your saw to cut aluminum,
Not typically.
or you're not using the same blade at least.
Right.
You're not. There's certain things you're not doing. Where with having a CNC machine, it's really user friendly.
Yeah,
You can have that tool already set up in a collet and a cone, and just let it plop it in and go to work.
sounds simple.
Pre-programmed.
Right? Instead of changing out blades on saws, and that doesn't sound efficient.
Yeah, and it sounds way less fun.
Yeah, it does.
So
Sounds like I actually have to work.
no thanks, I'm out.
I'm just going to put that sheet up on the machine.
Deuces.
Bye.
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 But yeah, then you start looking at, being able to cut different materials. Like I said, that's a nice thing because it opens up versatility.
Right.
Now the sign guy down the road, right?
Yep.
Following me here?
Absolutely.
The sign guy comes up to you and says, I need you to cut me a raised letter sign, right? What's it made out of? Well, I'm going to make it out of some foam. Cool. I can cut
Perfect.
foam. No problem.
Absolutely.
Okay. Or a guy who wants to make a channel letter sign, right? Well, that's aluminum, right?
Sure.
Good news. I can cut that too.
I have those capabilities.
So your machine allows you to say yes to those people now too. So now your sign guy who was subbing his work out somewhere else is now letting you cut some stuff.
It's awesome.
How cool is that?
It's really awesome.
Because let's be honest, we've all driven down the road and seen these like storefront sign companies, right?
Yep.
You drive them in their little strip malls,
Yep.
and it's like signs for you,
Timmy Signs.
signs for you by me, something like that.
I like that.
That's my new business.
Signs for you by me.
I'm writing that one down. Signs for you by me. But they got like 600 square feet, right?
Yep.
They don't have a CNC machine in there.
No, they don't.
More than likely, they don't. I'm not gonna say they don't. Maybe that's all they have in there. They sit on it. Their chair.
That's where they take their lunch break.
It's their chair.
Just gather around the
Yeah.
CNC machine.
Everybody, let's eat lunch together.
Communal lunch at the CNC.
It's making an X movement. Pick up your hoagie. But yeah, those kind of guys are sending their work somewhere.
They are.
Well, they can come to you in town.
That's where I want it to come.
Yep. Not to mention, when you think about that, it's a lot easier for them to just run down to your shop, right?
Yeah,
And you can allow shorter lead time than them having to ship something.
absolutely.
So it's still a shorter time than the shipping was going to cost them before.
People helping people.
People helping people. I love it. Do you ever help people, Garrett? Yes? Can you turn your mic on? No. Oh,
We can't
that's
hear
what
you.
I thought. No mic. Anyways, but he just that Garrett, he's beating me out. But yeah, he probably gave me a dinger, didn't he? He went
More
ding,
than likely.
ding, ding, ding. I probably like 95
6
mistakes
dingers.
out. Yeah. But anyways, the versatility side of it like helps a lot, But then also you have the expansion capability. What you do today is going to be different tomorrow.
Right.
It's going to be different in a year.
Right.
The business is going to continue to grow, hopefully, right?
Right.
That's the goal.
Right.
That's what we want.
That's the goal.
Nobody ever is like, man, I hope I get smaller tomorrow.
I hope I add this machine and I close up shop.
Yeah, like nobody, like everybody in business's goal is to make more money.
Right.
Right? Let's be
Absolutely.
honest. There's guys out there that are like, I don't really care to get bigger. But you care to get more profitable.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to become, a big box store.
Let's ask that question a different way. Instead of saying, do you want to get bigger? Do you want to make more money?
The answer is yes.
No one's going to say no.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is always yes. to that
Always
question.
yes.
Yeah. So how do you make more money? Well, now you have to be able to expand, right?
Yep.
Am I going to expand what I do? That's one way you can expand, right? So
Right.
I'm a cabinet guy, but now I expanded into signs.
Yeah.
Or I'm a cabinet guy and I expanded into making my own doors. And now I'm selling doors to the other shops around me.
Yep.
Or I'm making dovetail drawers and selling those around shops around me. Or I'm a closet guy and now I am going to do cabinets. Or I'm going to start making nurses stations or salon stations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have a salon station in
I
your house.
do, absolutely.
Your wife was a hairstylist, correct?
Yeah. She still is.
Yep.
Yep.
And
reason for this station downstairs.
Yep. And then, she's not a very good one because she didn't shave your beard.
I wouldn't say that too loud. I'd be
know.
more afraid of her than you are of me. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
that woman's scary.
Yeah, but
She's
likes
a
me.
wonderful hairstylist. She does a great
great
job.
hairstylist.
Best one around. Those are things we need to say.
Really doesn't do a great job on you, though. I don't know. It might be just your face.
Wow. I do have one of those
I think
faces,
it's your
though.
face,
Yeah, I
It's
should
your
probably
face.
let my hair
You
grow
should change your
longer, huh?
face. Change your face a little bit, maybe. But no, in all seriousness, though, his
It's
wife is a phenomenal hairstylist. But we built a
salon station
for your basement.
Yeah, full drawers, mirror, everything.
Yeah. So I mean, like when you think we can get a picture of that up on the internet someday?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like the cabinet guy is going to come and hang them this week because I'm not going to hang them. If I hung those
They were gonna
cabinets,
fall.
how long would they be on the wall?
3 seconds.
If that.
3 seconds.
And you'd have to come help me.
Let me tell you guys a little story here. Here's my favorite thing. Little story. So we cut this cabinet out here, this salon station, excuse me.
Yeah.
Cut it out here and assembled it here. And I had it sitting next to the CNC machine out there for display purposes. And I told Jesse, we need to get this out of the room. And he said, yep, I'll get it out of there. And then a week went by. And I finally walked up and I said, we're getting this out of there. Go open your car. So he opens up the
Was it the Tahoe or was it my car?
Kia
It was the
F-150.
the Kia F-150.
No, actually, it was the Tahoe, though. He opened her vehicle. He opened her vehicle.
Yeah, she drives
Yep.
the real vehicle. in
She
this
drives
family.
that. He has a Kia 150. But then, so he opens up the car. We carry the stuff out. The first cabinet he carries out the door, he smashes into the door and scratches the entire door. Remember that?
Yeah.
And his exact response to me is, oh, that'll buff out. Jesse, did that buff out?
I gave it a really good attempt.
He gave it a college try, folks. It did not buff out. There's a giant scratch in our door. So anytime you come to
Does
ShopSabre,
Jim know about that?
he does now.
He does now. Sorry, Jim.
Anybody who comes to ShopSabre, you can come tour the facility and see Jesse's damage.
But yeah, we will get pictures of those up. I will.
Yeah.
We'll get some pictures of those up this week.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the stuff you can do, though. Is you can get into these other things that isn't traditionally maybe what you do, right?
Right.
You know, you can start building other things and these other projects, which makes you more profitable.
Right.
There's just more work that you can
Well,
go after.
even on your own stuff, like you mentioned that cabinet. If I were to buy that cabinet,
Correct.
if I were to buy that outright, that would have cost me 3 times probably what it took to make on the CNC.
Correct, exactly.
And I had it in 25 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't have had the opportunity to bang the door up as
Right,
you walked out,
absolutely.
right? I mean, it's like a win-win
And then
for
I don't get to
everybody.
pretend to play handy, right? I don't get to pretend like I'm handy if I go out and buy it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I would have rather watched you try to build that because let's be real with each other here. That thing was going to fall apart in seconds.
You think I would have done that by myself? You don't think I would have picked up the phone and be like, hey, Brandon, I really need your help. You would have came and helped me.
No, I wouldn't.
We never would have got it
You
together,
know I
but you would have
never
came and
come and
helped
help
me.
on that one because that is setting up a
How long
recipe
would-
for disaster.
How long would it have taken you to pull out your credit card and just be like, just order it?
No, I wouldn't. I would have just said, I'm sorry, I'm out of minutes on my phone, and I would have hung up.
You're a liar. You would have helped.
I'm not helping with that one. I know better. I
Two
don't tackle
least
projects that are
handy.
going to fall off the wall and be my responsibility.
2 least handy people ever.
Absolutely. No, thank you. And that's
But we
why
sure can talk.
we're really good at talking, and that's why we run CNC machines
Right,
because
right.
we are not cabinet guys.
Absolutely.
Brother Bob always jokes around that we're the cabinet assembly team because he cuts parts and then we just put them together and they work.
I don't even think he trusts me to do that. He's never asked me to put one of them together.
No, it was not you. Me and Travis used to put them together all the time.
Perfect.
Cabinet. Actually, I think it was Steve and I.
Should
I don't
stay
know.
that way.
But as you start looking at being profitable with this, let's get back on task here, can you?
You're the one that took it off task.
You're so distracting.
Gosh.
Um,
Because I'm handsome.
No, it's not why. But talk about being profitable. Let's go back to it's the entire way you run your business, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
Really, it is. Like when you start thinking about it's the definition of work smarter, not harder.
Right.
I mean, you hear people say it all the time, and yet there's people out there still doing things the old school way, right?
Right.
Like I always stop, and I hope people will really take us serious when we ask this question. It's, do you use a cell phone nowadays?
Yeah.
Or do you have landlines everywhere that you go in your house?
They still have those?
Yeah, some people do. But, I mean, the reality is most people have a mobile phone or a
Right.
cell phone.
Right. People have made the switch to
They've
current
adapted,
technology.
right? How many people order stuff off their cell phone?
A lot of people, I would say majority of the population. I
They
bet.
don't open their laptop every single time they want to go order something, right?
No, it's inconvenient.
Correct. But it's because we've adapted, right?
Correct.
I mean, computers have adapted. Phones have adapted. Everything around you is adapted. Cars are adapting. I mean, god dang, I almost got hit by a car that didn't have a driver in it.
I
I'm
think you
pretty
can
sure.
order from Amazon in the car.
Yeah, you can.
Does Amy do that?
Yes.
She figured
can.
that out real quick.
You got Alexa in the car now. Alexa, my husband sucks at driving. No problem, Amy. We are calling the cops. Shut up, Alexa. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, like there's self-driving cars.
Right.
I saw this Tesla driving around a parking lot the other day. I watched this thing drive around, and I'm like, there's nobody in that car.
That's so cool.
And it parked itself. It was super cool. And then I walked over and talked to the guy who owned it, and he was just like, yeah, no, that's just how they work. He goes, I was just demonstrating it for my buddy here. And I'm like, man, that's like pretty risky.
Yeah.
You got a lot of trust in that thing.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it works every time. But that's where we're going. Like someday we're going to have that everywhere. That's not going to be an abnormality, right?
Right.
You're going to be like, remember when you used to have to park your own car? Loser.
Right.
Like seriously, like our generation is going to be like, back in my day, we used to park our own cars,
Right.
Like that's going to be us. So
That'll still be me. Let's be real. I'll be driving the Kia 150 then too.
yeah, the Kia 150.
Thing's
is my
never going
favorite.
anywhere.
That thing is sweet. Did you haul anything in the Kia 150 this weekend?
We had a baseball tournament which required 2 vehicles. So yes, I hauled 6 chairs, a wagon, and 2 coolers in the Kia F-150 this weekend. The Tahoe had the easy up and like all the flooring for the new salon, so I couldn't put anything in there. It all had to go in the F-150. The Kia 150, I apologize.
Garrett.
That was
You didn't
very
even-
rude.
You didn't even silence your phone before we started the podcast.
Jeez.
Ding, 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 ding. Laptop.
Bush League over there.
Okay. But yeah, so anyways, the Kia 150. That thing is versatile,
Versatile.
right?
Absolutely.
And it's been profitable.
Very.
It's basically like a CNC machine. But yeah, I mean, the future of your business depends on your decisions.
Right.
And, being profitable is a big part of it, right? But when you talk about doing stuff with your company, right? Whatever you're doing, I don't care what you build. I don't care what your business is. As you're sitting there, remember, if you can take out labor cost of what you're doing, right?
Right.
You make more money, right? It costs you less.
Absolutely.
Your price to the end user doesn't have to change.
No, it doesn't.
Why would you change your price if you don't have to, right?
Why? It
But
makes no sense.
here's the advantage of it. You can change your price if you're forced to,
Correct.
right? Like somebody comes in and tries to undercut you, right?
Right.
You now have more margin to work with.
You do.
Like, okay, well then I will take a little bit of margin out of it here if it means we can get the deal done.
Right.
I don't want to, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I don't want you guys going to, the big box store. I know they're running a sale right now on the cabinets, buy 3, the 4th falls off the wall, but I know it's good. You're like, let's go with that. No, I'll work with you, right?
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where you can be more competitive in your industry.
Yep.
You can start taking on some of the big box stores, if you will,
Yeah.
but you can do it because of profits, because you have a little bit more to work with.
Right.
When you're skimping by, right, and then the cost of material has gone through the roof right now, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, let's just talk about that for a second. All these companies that were buying materials, you bid on a job, right,
Yep.
based on current costs. 'Cause You
Correct.
don't know what you don't know. Then the price jumps up 25%. But your margin was only 35%.
You're going to have a very uncomfortable conversation with a customer.
Correct. You're either
or
telling the customer that, hey, man, I'm sorry, we got to go up in price, but we already agreed on price. I'm sorry, it's got to go up. Or you're eating it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Is that not where you were going with that? Like
That's
you're
where
gonna-
I was going.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're gonna eat that cost.
Otherwise, you're going to eat it.
So now your 35% margin job just made you 10%. Assuming that Harold didn't mess anything up.
Right.
Harold! What?
One mistake from Harold, and you're not making money
Now
on
you're
this
at
job.
8%.
Yeah.
Or 10 or 5%. Or, yeah, you paid them to install their cabinets.
Correct.
And so as you start looking at that, that's where CNC helps, because it's got higher profit margin. So even if the material moves a little bit, okay, I made a little bit less, but I still made a hell of a lot more, right? A hell
Right.
of a lot more than what I could have made.
Absolutely.
The reality is, okay, I bid it at 35% margin. Price went up a little bit, but the reality is I actually had better margin than that because my labor's down. So instead of making 35%, I made 25%.
That's a win.
25% is still a win in my
That's
opinion.
still a win.
And your customer's not mad,
Yep.
right? You didn't make as much as you could have, but your customer's really happy.
There's going to be situations where you got to give a little and take a little.
Yeah, and they're
It's
going to
happen.
send other people to you,
Yep.
right? So to me, that seems like a hell of a lot better solution than just risking it, right?
I agree.
So then you talk about, choosing to automate your business, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Just you're automating, right? You're advancing your business. What does that do for your reputation?
Puts it through the roof. You're fast. You're quick. You're reliable.
But, let's just look at it from a next generation standpoint. Does that not make you a more professional business to some people?
Absolutely. I could see how that would bring more people your way, potentially bring you more employees, better employees.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going with that, is exactly that. Like, it attracts more people to your shop.
It
Right
does.
now in a labor force world that we have, it's hard to find people.
We have a labor force.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we have ads out there all the time. ShopSabre is always running ads because we're hiring constantly.
Yep.
But the reality is there's a shortage of workers, right? We all know
yeah.
that. No, I mean, we hear it every day from customers. I'm sure somebody out there listening right now is doing something they normally wouldn't be doing because they couldn't find somebody to do the job.
Yep.
Right? So they're listening to us right now just thinking, God, these guys need to stop talking about cheesecake, but if I could only find somebody to do this job, I wouldn't have to worry about it, you know? But no, the reality is there's a shortage of people.
There is a huge one.
So if the few people that are out there that are looking and are willing to, you know, make a change, they're weighing their options, are they not?
They are.
So they're like, hey, I can get X amount from this guy. This guy will give me Fridays off. This guy will do this. This guy will do that. This guy, you know, right? And they go back and forth, right?
Right.
It's like the home buying business right now, right? It's whoever's going to pay higher, right?
Well, look at the other side of that too, right? You have a small group of skilled workers out there looking for work, actively wanting to work. What happens when all these people at home that don't want to work come off the bench and want to come to work after they haven't worked for a year? Do you want to hire that guy? Not really. You've been sitting at home for a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to invest my money in a machine that I know is not going to forget how to work. It's not going to forget skills.
Well, and you there's double-edged sword there, okay? Those people are going to come back and you are going to hire them, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have a machine there that I can train the person to run and I don't have to worry about it's a skill set, right? I don't
Right.
have to worry about having this highly skilled person to do certain jobs,
That's very true.
right?
Yep.
That highly skilled person is still very valuable to me because they can run the shop, right? Or they
Yep.
can supervise. They can be the high-level custom guy. But now I can output some of my more generic stuff because they can put guys like you and I on the machine,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You're going to put the Brandon on the machine. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Brandon, good news, you're running the machine today.
Yay.
I was talking in Arizona. I went to Arizona.
Was it last year?
Yeah, I think it was last year. I was just trying to do that. Like last year, I was down there, and I met Ken Schrader, okay, NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Ken Schrader, and we were standing there, and the guy that we were standing with had wrecked his race car that night. So we were standing there, staring at how unprofessional his car looked at that moment, and Ken Schrader was standing there with us, and he said, "Ken, why don't you run the button and, you know, winch the car on the trailer?" And Ken Schrader turned around and goes, "You only put the dumb guy on the button." And I busted out laughing, right? And so Ken picked the button up and he pushed the button and hit the wrong one, and the car went the other direction. He goes, "Well, now I know why you put me on the button." So I don't know. I thought of that.
We
when
would
I
be
thought
on the
about-
buttons.
Yeah, we're the button guys.
We're
That's,
the button
that's why I
guys.
laughed about it. You know, I'm not skilled. I'm not the guy you're putting on your skilled, you know, part of your business. I'm gonna be
Right.
honest with you. I mean, I'm skilled in different areas, but I'm not a guy that's gonna be I'm not a carpenter. That's not who I am. So having a CNC machine makes me a carpenter. It allows me to do things that I don't have the skill set to normally do.
Right.
So if you were to have to hire a guy like myself, which I will rip on myself, and anybody listening, hopefully you understand these are jokes and we're having fun. But
Yeah.
the reality is like, I'm the kind of guy that I will work my tail off for you,
Yeah, absolutely.
but I can't magically make up the skill that I don't have.
Correct.
Right? You know,
Yeah.
I just don't have it. So I either need to go to school to figure it out, but you need an employee today, and I'm sorry, I don't have that
standing
skill
right
today.
here.
Yeah. So sorry. Hey,
Can you use me for something?
can you teach me something?
I'll
You
be
know?
the button guy.
Yeah, I'll be the button guy. Which button do I push? Yeah. So self-destruct, is that the one? The reality is though, like I said, it's being able to choose kind of your direction in you know, your course of action with your business, right?
Yeah.
But as you start looking at your pricing doesn't change, your lead times do, right? They come down. Generally speaking, you can get more done in less time, so you can bring your lead times
Right.
down. So your volume's up, right?
Yep.
So you're doing more volume,
Yep.
and your profits increase.
Yeah. Sounds
All
like,
while a lot of times getting better yield. So even material costs didn't go up. It actually became more profitable per job.
sounds like you're winning.
It's a win to me. And so then you talk about profitability. Well, there's profitability for you. Better use of material, less labor, less overhead, same price of the job.
Sounds like a big win.
So it's a win. I mean, it's what it is. And, you know, it's all because you chose to automate your business. It's all because, you know, you chose CNC. You chose to push yourself forward.
Right. You chose to adapt.
You bought the smartphone.
Yep.
You know, you bought the handy dandy new device, whatever it is, you know,
Yep.
the Xbox, whatever the latest Xbox is.
I have no clue.
Yeah, you have kids. I figured you'd know which one it was. Sorry. Yeah, I don't either. But
Hard to know what it is when you take it away from them all the time.
you're grounded.
Spends more time in the closet than does hooked up.
But when you start looking at that, is CNC is uncomfortable, right?
Can
I,
be.
I think that's where it is. Is like, I think CNC is uncomfortable for some people because it's not the norm,
Right.
right? I
It's
when
not
you
how
think-
I'm used to doing it.
Correct. It's like the first computer, the first car, the first telephone, the first. Every time there was a crowd that was a doubter, right?
Yep.
Like the internet, it's a crazy fad. It's gonna go away. Nope.
Yeah.
No, it's not going anywhere. It's here.
How'd you like to be that guy? This internet's not sticking around. It's going away.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I mean, when you think about it though, there's so many things. I was thinking about here. Like, if you would have told me 20 years ago, right? You need to invest in Amazon. I'd own like a ton of land down in the Amazon. Like, got it, man. I'm investing. Like,
Got an 80-acre parcel in the jungle.
I got a ton of piranhas here, man. Like, you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That pesky panther could sure go away.
yeah, like when you start thinking about it, like, you don't know what you don't know. Is
Right.
my point of that joke.
Right.
Like, like you could have told me to buy Amazon, and I wouldn't have a freaking clue what Amazon was, right?
Okay.
You don't know what is coming in the future here.
Right.
And so the reality is CNC is what we do know.
Yes.
Do you want to be the person that was like, man, we knew about CNC, but we chose just to wait way too long to do it, right?
Right.
You got in behind your competitors. Like, that's my point, is CNC is still, I know people aren't going to believe me when I say it, it's still new. Like, yeah, CNC's been around a long time, but
Right.
the actual affordability of CNC and being able to do it, I mean, we're still on that upswing by quite a ways.
Right.
Like,
the
there's a lot of work.
technology that you get for the dollar
Correct.
these days
There's-
is by far better.
Well, there's more shops out there without a CNC than there are with a CNC, right?
That just blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's still more shops without a CNC than there are with it. So until you get past that number, you have an advantage,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Once you hit that 50% mark, right,
Yep.
you now have a disadvantage when you don't have one,
Absolutely.
right? You're at a disadvantage now. So it's like you need to get there. You
Get
need
time to play catch up.
Be the guy that gets there. Get to the 50%, right?
Get there first. Don't play
Exactly.
catch up.
Yeah, get in line,
Yep.
right? That right? Is that not what you do? You try to get in line first
Get
when
in
you know
line.
something's going to happen, right? You
Absolutely.
get in line. If I could tell you right now, go back, Amazon is going to be a thing. You can buy in at $1. Would you not buy it?
I'd spend every dime I had.
Every person would. I
Every
know they
person
would.
would.
And any person that says they wouldn't is a liar.
They're
Because
lying.
If you knew what you knew today about Amazon, you would have bought in at the day one.
Absolutely.
That's CNC. That is what CNC is right now.
I agree.
You have the opportunity to buy in today for yourself.
at a much better price point.
Yeah, because you control it.
Yep.
It's not a gamble. You control it. You're not gambling with your money. You're betting on yourself. You're betting on the house, right?
You're betting on a sure thing.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm going to work. I'm going to show up and do my thing. I'm going to sell those jobs. The money's going to happen, right? You're going to sell. That's the other thing. Like, these guys are like, well, what if it doesn't happen? Are you just not going to pay your bills anymore? You're just not going to work?
Right.
I'm done. Done selling jobs.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
It's like anything.
Yep. So profitability in a CNC is 100% related to that. You know, like being profitable in a CNC kind of go hand in hand. Like that's how you're going to become a profitable company. And when you start doing it, you know, it is an uncomfortable experience because you don't know it. But guess what? At one point, you didn't know your manual skills either.
Right.
Right? You didn't know how to build cabinets. There was a day that you didn't know that. I know some of you may have started when you were 6 because your dad or your grandfather taught you or whatever.
Yep.
Some of you started 16. Some of you started when you were 36.
Right.
You know, whatever that case was, there was a day when you didn't know it, and the next day you knew more. Right?
Yeah.
You chose to learn, is why.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with CNC.
You wanted it.
You wanted it, exactly. And so with CNC, it's the same thing. Like there was a time in your life that you didn't know how to walk, or talk,
Or drive.
or drive, correct? Swim. I mean, whatever it
Think
is.
about
that
how scary it was thinking about learning how to drive.
I wasn't scared.
I
about
wasn't
that.
scared
I
either.
I wanted to go run into stuff.
Right.
But
But it was a new experience, right? It
Yeah.
was something you didn't know.
yeah, no, exactly. You know, they don't call me Slam Bardo for nothing.
Slambardo.
No, but yeah, the reality is when you learn a new skill set, there's a day that you don't know it,
Right.
and you become good at whatever you do, whatever your craft is. Okay, everybody listening, whether you are a skydiver, you are a swimmer, whether you are a chess player, you're
Underwater
a
basket
underwater basket weaver,
Yep.
ball balancing guy. You know, you're a gymnastics expert.
Player.
Or you're a player.
Yeah, is that what they're called?
Is that-
Gymnastics player?
Does that count as a ding? I don't think that.
Gymnastics player?
Would that be a gymnast, buddy?
Maybe. I don't follow gymnastics
Gymnast.
very close. I apologize.
Nevertheless, the Olympics are going on right now. You can check it
I
out. if
haven't
you'd like
watched
to.
a second.
Okay, well, maybe you should because it might help you in some of this kind of
Maybe
stuff.
I should.
But yeah, whatever you do, like I said, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, hockey, football, whatever.
Yeah.
You didn't become an expert, or you didn't become
You didn't wake up that way.
extremely efficient at it by just waking up and today I'm a gymnast.
Yeah.
Like, no, that doesn't happen.
No.
Well, it does. Some people fall out of bed. So it does happen, I guess.
That's true.
I will say that. But the reality is you had to learn it, right?
You did.
Your skill sets are learned. Same with CNC machine. It's an uncomfortable thing because you don't know it.
Right.
One day it becomes second nature. It's
And
like
then
your
you
cell
wonder,
phone.
how did I live without this?
It's like your cell phone. Like,
Right.
I swore, okay, I'm going to tell a Brandon story. There was a day that the cell phone came out with the no button on the front of it,
Yeah.
There's no button at the bottom
No
of it.
home screen button?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never going to buy a phone without a button on the front screen because how am I going to get it back? And then,
How you can get the screen back?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it
Makes
was
sense.
It was uncomfortable, okay?
Yeah.
So then Chad here, he got one. He's like, dude, it's easy. Like, you just do this. And I was like, nope, not doing it. Can't make me. Not doing it.
Not doing it.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
And then he got a second one because he upgraded this phone. And I was still like, no, holding out. Don't ever need a new
You
phone.
got the iPhone 4
Yeah.
still?
I'm like, never going to buy a new phone ever again. Don't
Okay.
need to, Like, I was going to be stubborn on it. And then, like, get out of my truck, drop my phone, shattered.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I go to the iPhone store and I'm like, hey, I need a phone with a button on the front of it. And he goes, they don't make them anymore. I'm like,
Shoot.
well, now what do I do? And he's like, you just buy one of the new phones.
But I want the button.
I'm like, but I don't know how to run it without the button. He's like, I can show you, sir. Here you go. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I'm that guy. What is happening? I think he's trying to tell me to stop talking.
No.
This dude just trying to shut me off. Did you hear that? He played the exit button. He's
like the Oscars
"And
music."
Brandon's done.
Put the Oscar music on. Wrap it up, B.
All right,
Wrap
buddy,
it up.
you're done. We're getting him off the stage. Well, that's my story for you. So,
Hey, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to me. Bye. See ya. Jeez. But yeah, so you know what? My story's dead. It doesn't even matter anymore. But nevertheless, the kid at the store made me feel about 90 years old. And I'm like, yep, I'm that guy now. Sweet. Moving on in life. Thank you.
You've reached that pinnacle of life.
I've reached that point where I'm the guy holding out on technology.
Were you bald at that time? I understand.
No,
at that
I
point.
wasn't Bald Bardo yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't Bald Bardo yet. But yeah, no, yeah, like I said, but it's one of those things where it was uncomfortable.
Right.
I just didn't like the idea that I didn't have a button anymore. Like I've always, all the phones that we had
You
had
like to
buttons.
push buttons.
Yeah, well, all of
You're
them.
really good at it.
I'm really good at pushing
Yeah,
buttons.
you're really good at
But
it.
the phones always had buttons, right?
Yep.
Whenever we got a phone, it had a button. Some sort of a button on it. Now
Yep.
something you're telling me there's no button.
None.
Where's the button go?
But there's a whole lot of cameras.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, you got like 97 cameras. That's great. But just what I need. 97 camera angles on my face, right?
Oof.
It's like, whoop. Oh, no, now it just sees the fat everywhere
that's
now.
a lot of forehead.
I can't turn it. Yeah. You know how many times you can take a picture of your nose from different angles? I mean, when it's this big, you just are in trouble. Like, man, there's a whole lot of nose there. I didn't realize
Where's
that.
the rest of his face?
Glad that they gave me the Hubble
I
telescope
bet you
to
can
take my
smell
picture.
real good with that thing, huh?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I can't handle you. I smell a new job for you.
At this time.
Yeah.
Must be far away.
Yeah, nope. It's closer than you think.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Good luck getting someone else to do this with you.
That's true. That's the
It's the only reason you
that's the other
keep
reason
me.
you're staying. That's not true. It's not true. You're very good at what you do, and I enjoy having you on the team.
Liar.
But yeah. But yeah, the profitability side of things, when you start looking at it, it's all, all correlates back to itself of you're only as profitable as you want to be,
Yep.
right? You work as hard as you want to work. You do what you want. We're not telling you got to become this, store that is open 24/7, working 95 hours a week, right? I'm not telling you that. What I'm trying to tell you is you can go home at 40 hours and still be as profitable as you were at 60.
Right. Live a life. Have a life.
Don't get so busy. Don't get so busy making a living, you forget to make a life.
I like that.
That was a quote that I was told by a gentleman one time, and it's the truth.
It is.
On the flip side, don't get so busy making a life that you forget it takes a living.
Right. You have to have that balance.
There's a balance,
Yep.
and there's guys that lose that balance, and it's one extreme to the other, right? They can't run that balance. CNC really allows you to have that balance because I can start a job, and then I can walk away for a second, right?
Right.
I didn't quit working. The machine's still working.
Right.
So there is even you 1-2-man shops who seem to believe for whatever reason, because I'm a 1 or 2-man shop, that I don't need a CNC machine. That's the most important time to have a CNC machine, in my opinion, because you have less labor available to you.
Absolutely.
But there are guys that I've talked to that have openly said, like, they went from working 60 to 80 hours a week to 40 hours and they're home for dinner with their family every night.
That's important.
And they're making more money.
Yep, that's important.
I had a guy call me one time and he told me that the CNC was the worst decision he ever made. And I was like,
Why?
yeah, why? And he's like, we're not busy enough. He's like, we're just not busy enough for the machine. And I said, okay, I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm trying to coach him through, where I can, look here for some work, do what you can. He calls me back like 3.5 months later. This is the end of the year now. And he said, Brandon, I owe you an apology. And I said,
I don't know why, but I'll take it.
I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm like, explain, I'm listening. But he said, I told you the CNC was the worst decision I ever made. I said, yeah. I said, hopefully he said, it wasn't the worst decision I ever made. I thought it was the worst decision I had ever made because of the fact that I was home every night. I wasn't working enough because I realized that I was getting so much more work done that I actually was not having to work as long. So to me, it felt like the work had slowed down.
Wow.
He didn't realize he had made way more money until he saw his taxes at the end of the year with his tax guy.
Wow.
And they had increased the business significantly. And he said they just got used to living a lifestyle that was going to require him to be home at 7 or 8 or 9 every night. And, that when he was now home, he felt like business had slowed down and things were terrible. And he didn't realize he had taken on all these extra jobs and it didn't affect his life.
That's a win for everybody.
That's my point. And it was kind of cool because at that moment it was kind of humbling because you realize, like, you changed that guy's life.
Yeah.
Like, you changed the guy's life.
Yep.
He's spending more time with his kids and his family and doing things. And, we talk to him still to this day. And, he says great things. And he's always been great to chat with. But it's one of those things where you can literally change a person's life simply based off of one decision they make. Right?
Absolutely.
And everybody thinks of the bad decisions. Like, that's what everybody, like, the human nature wants to say, like, oh, if I do this, everything's going to fall apart. You do this, you might become a rock star.
Right.
Right? You might be able to do all the crazy things you've ever wanted to do, you might be able to do.
Right.
Because
I shared that email with you this weekend, right?
Yep.
We had a customer that we worked really hard to close a deal at the end of the year, and the guy was just panicking, nervous about making the decision, nervous about spending his money. It was the end of the world.
Yep.
And he emailed me this weekend and said that it was the best decision he's ever made.
Yep.
And that's awesome. That's the most rewarding thing ever.
And that's why we do what we do, though, right?
Right.
I mean, that's why we always tell everybody, like, we're consultants. We're not commission paid. If we were looking for commission, we'd work somewhere else, right?
Right.
We do it because we truly want to help people. And we get to see these kind of things constantly. Like, there's a lot more success stories than there are failure stories when it comes to, automating and CNC. Buying the right piece of equipment does matter.
It does.
That's where the research happens. You want to get involved, go to ShopSabre.com. You just start doing your research there. Go talk to one of our consultants. Let these guys help you.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. Again, if you go back, 20 years ago and I tell you to buy Amazon, what are you buying? But,
big piece of jungle.
Yeah, exactly. But the reality is like I said, you don't know what you don't know. You
Right.
don't know where the future is going to bring. We don't know. Nobody controls it. But versatility helps and profitability always helps.
You can't argue that.
That's
If someone could come to you today and say, hey, 60 grand, I'll make you more profitable, more versatile.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Correct.
I just threw out a number. I said 60
I'm
grand. I threw out a
automatically
number,
going to
but you get what I'm
assume that's a scam for some reason.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that's the problem. My mentality went, no, it's a scam, right? Nobody's going to do that.
Right.
That's what we do as human nature. We forget that there are ways that technology makes us more profitable.
Yep.
We blame technology every time it fails because we become so dependent on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when your computer doesn't work, everybody's like, the computer.
Yep.
Like, dude.
Maybe you did something.
You want to go back to like a pen and paper? Remember what that was like? No thanks. I'm
good.
good. Computer's cool.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'll keep the Dell.
No, we're good, man. Thanks, man. But it's like the same thing. Like people, they lose kind of focus on certain things. But it's like a stoplight. People just lose their mind sitting at stoplights, right?
Yep.
Like the average stoplight's like 30 seconds long.
Is that what it is?
It's like 30
It
seconds.
feels like 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody just kind of gets in that mindset because of the world moving at the pace we're moving at. We've
Yeah.
become dependent on moving. The CNC machine is the future.
It
That's
is.
where we're going.
It is.
So realistically, that's how you can become more profitable. Being profitable with the CNC machine is the versatility. It is the labor reduction. There's so many things you can do with it. I encourage everybody who doesn't have a CNC machine right now, go to ShopSabre.com, check it all out, start doing your research.
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone.
See how much more affordable it really is than you think. Find
Yeah.
out how much you're leaving on the table. What do you got to lose? Right?
Right.
What do you got to lose?
Nothing. It's a
Nothing.
conversation.
Plus, then you could talk to Jesse.
Yeah. Or Chad or Travis or Micah.
Talk to any one of them.
Hopefully you don't get stuck with Brandon. Just saying.
Maybe not. I'm going to put him on the phone with Garrett.
No, don't do that.
Put him on the phone with Garrett.
Don't do that.
Did it.
No.
Done.
Guys, don't. Please ask for someone else if you get Garrett. Please.
dare you talk to me that way, you third-rate tot?
Well, I'm Brandon.
I'm Jesse.
Thanks for talking shop with ShopSabre.